Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or as we like to say here at Shady Acres Woodshop, howdy. Today we have a piece of mystery shrub. This is a mystery shrub root ball. Dave from Calmwood Creations sent this to us, and we're gonna see what we can do with it. The piece is roughly 7 inches by 6.5 inches by about 4.5 to 5 inches tall. I'm gonna turn a bowl. I've found a center hole here. I asked Dave if it was rhododendron, and he said no, it's not rhododendron, but he doesn't know what it is. It's a mystery. So let's turn that mystery into a bowl. Stand by. I spent the last couple of minutes with a screwdriver and a brush trying to get all the dirt and rocks out of here, and there's quite a few, and then compressed air to blow it out. I'm going to start turning at about 550 RPM with my 5/8 inch standard grind bowl gouge, mask and face shield on. Well, let's stop there and work on the bottom a little bit. Well, golly gosh, we got a long ways to go to get a full bottom, huh? It's gonna end up being a little smaller than I hoped. We'll mark out for a tenon here. It doesn't look like we're going to have a full tenon. Nothing new about that. Well, maybe. I'm going to switch to a 3/8 inch bowl gouge so I can get in there a little bit tighter. We do have a full tenon. How about that? Yippee! I'm going to use this diamond point tool to create flat sides or straight sides on the tenon. And that's good. I'm going to switch to this swept back 3/8 inch bowl gouge to clean up my mess here. I see some dirt stuff down in there. I'm going to grab a screwdriver and do some cleaning up here. I'll be right back. Well, I thought I'd show you what I'm dealing with here. That's just a small portion of the dirt that I've been digging out of the cracks inside the crevices of this piece of wood. And there's a whole lot more down inside the ways down there, and there's still some inside the bowl that I probably won't even get at until I start turning the inside. But I feel like I've got everything I can get with my handy dandy little screwdriver. So I'm going to clean up my mess here, and it'll be time for sanding. I'm going to start the sanding with my 2-inch disc sander, 80 grit, and I'm going to work up through 400 grit, and I'll show you that. And when I get to 180 grit with that 2-inch disc sander, I'm going to switch to my Sandoflex and sand all of these areas that the disc sander can't reach. So let me get my mask on and I'll show you how that's going to work. The lathe is spinning in reverse at 340 RPM. So in sanding, what happens is you're removing wood, obviously, and that makes these edges really sharp. So that's why I'm going to use this. It's one of the reasons I'm going to use my sandal flex. Smooth out those edges and get in here where I can't reach. And then I suppose there's going to be some hand sanding as well to get way in here, because this can only reach in about 1.5 inches, 2 inches or so. So that's what I'm going to be doing for a little while, and I'll bring you back when it's time to put some finish on here. Who knows what that is? I don't. Well, I thought for sure I was going to get the outside done today. I've got the sanding done. Looks pretty good, feels great. And then I found some more dirt in there, so I started digging with my screwdriver. And it goes way, way back in there. I know you probably can't see it as well as I can, but it goes almost through the bowl. And I just kept digging and digging and digging, and just when I thought I had it all, I'd find some more, and I was digging and digging. I mean, I've been blowing and digging and vacuuming and for 3 hours. And now it's 5 o'clock. And it's dark out, and I didn't turn the house lights on, so I'm not even going to find my way home. And I'm tired, and it's cold, and I quit. I'm beginning to wonder if I'm even going to get this piece done. But I'm going to give it my best shot. That probably doesn't help you see in there. Goes way back in there. This is probably the dirtiest root ball I've ever done. Dave, buddy. You stuck me with one, I'll tell you. But I'm not giving up. I got too much work into it, plus I think there's lots of possibilities. And I think this right here, this part kind of looks like a window. Depends on how I can turn it on the inside. Looks like a window to me. And I like that idea. But I'm done for today. It's supposed to get cold in a day or two, but I think I'm good for tomorrow. So I'll see you back here tomorrow. Here we go. Woke up to 45 degrees this morning. Woke up to 45 degrees. I mean, it's going to get hotter than that. It's like a new lease on life or something. So I'm applying sanding sealer, shellac-based sanding sealer. And then shellac will be our finish of choice for this piece. This is going to take quite a little while because I've got so much brushing to do inside these huge natural areas. But that's okay. And I'm not going to make you watch it all because it's going to take quite a bit of time. See you in a bit. I got 2 coats of sanding sealer on the outside, and I didn't put any shellac on. I'll do that all at once when I do the inside here. I've got my 5/8 inch bowl gouge. We're going to be turning at 1100 RPM, mask and face shield on. I didn't talk too much about that window I was talking about out here, that big gap. You can't see it, but it's here. I kind of want to keep this on. We've got something here, and we've got something over here, and we've got the bottom of it. We need a top to help frame that window. So anyway, what I'm saying is maybe my bowl isn't going to be very big. If that's going to be a window, then I just kind of want to go down the side of it, the back side of that window, if that makes any sense, so that you can see into the ball, but still have a frame all the way around it. So that's about where I am now, or maybe I can, maybe about here and straight down. I'm just going to have to keep sneaking up on it. I want you to see what I'm talking about here. Here's my window. You can see into the bowl from here, and you can see into the bowl from here. And this is what I was saving for the top of the window. I've got the sides and I've got the bottom of the window. But I thought I needed this to frame the top of the window. But maybe I don't, because I see I have this root that goes from here all the way over to here. So maybe that could be the top of the frame. The reason I'm talking about this is because the bowl is so dang small. And the difference between the inside of this root and over here is about 3/8 of an inch. So that makes the bowl, if I get rid of that, if I get rid of this whole piece here, that'll make the bowl 3/4 of an inch bigger, and that's quite a bit bigger. And I can't really come any farther than that, or I'll lose my root, and then I won't have a top of my window. So I think I'm going to make the bowl bigger by cutting just to the inside of that root and get rid of this piece. It's not attached over here. So what do you think? Lose this? Just use this for the top of the window? What? I can't hear you. Oh man, I wish you guys were here. I'm gonna do it. Yeah, I'm glad I did it. I'm happy with that. But I'm going to switch to carbide. I can't get my tool rest in there any closer because it hits on the bottom. And I need a little more reach than this will give me. Yeah, we're about there. About a 1/4 inch bottom. Very thick top, huh? Or very thick walls, I should say. Yeah, pretty cool. My window, pretty cool. I might be able to put some CA in this crack right here, because when I wiggle it, that whole thing wiggles. So maybe if I can seal this up, that'll keep it from wiggling so much. It doesn't wiggle much, and you really have to pull on it to get it to go at all. But boy, look at all that dirt and crud in there. About all that's holding this thing together, I suppose. Okay, I'm gonna put some CA in here. I'll be back in a few. Well, I put about a gallon of CA in there, it seems like. I had to clamp it and reclamp it. And so I'm done turning other than to scrape, which I'm about to do now. Yay! Time for sanding. I'm going to start the sanding with my Sandoflex at 180 grit. I'm going to sand along this top edge, this inside edge, to remove any roughness or sharp points. I'm also going to sand all the unfinished areas. I did spend a little time sanding this already just to smooth it out. These were some pretty heavy saw cuts on here, and I like to leave a little bit, which I did, a little bit over here, a little bit over here, just as a reminder of the history of the piece. So I'll show you how that's going to work, and then I'm going to switch to my 2-inch sanding disc, and I expect this to be an issue, so I'm going to have to approach that pretty carefully, and that'll be starting at 80 grit and working up through 400. So let me get my mask on and I'll show you how that's all going to work. Then once that's done, with the lathe spinning forward at about 350, That's going to require a real gentle touch. All these voids, they all want to catch it as it comes around. So it's going to take a light touch and a lot of time, and that's what I'll be working on, and I'll bring you back when it's time to put some sanding sealer on there. See you in a bit. Well, that was a pain in the butt, I'll tell you what. That was just hard. There's no good way to sand this. Using a little brush here to get into all these other areas that I can't use a rag on. I think it's going to look real nice. I'm not disappointed in that, and it feels good. So I will get a couple of coats of this on here, sanding sealer, and then a couple of coats of shellac on the whole thing, and I'll bring you back here. We'll finish this up and get that tenon off of there and call it good. Let's get that tenon off. This has been an ordeal with the weather and the trouble turning this particular piece. I've mounted a block of wood up in my chuck there. I've slipped the bowl over it. I've still got my center hole there for reference, and I'm just going to bring up the tailstock. It's freezing out here. Well, not quite. 38 degrees. So I'm going to turn my heater on here in a minute. I wanted it off so that I could chat with you for a second. We'll spin this up a little bit, see if it's centered. And it is very nicely centered. So I'm going to turn the speed up to about 600 RPM. And I'm going to take a 3/8 inch standard grind bowl gouge and commence to removing that tenon. I don't have to remove the full tenon. It's already below the surface of the base. Here comes my heater. Sorry for the buzz, but I'm freezing. Now I'm going to take a 3/8 inch swept back bowl gouge so that I can get in there a little closer. Just keep working it away. It's pretty small now, so I'm going to turn the speed down to about 400 RPM. Bevel of the gouge against the bottom of the bowl. Right hand on the gouge, left hand on the switch. Pressure towards the headstock. And when the little nub stops turning, we'll know we're through. Or disintegrates. Sometimes that happens. Then I'll just take this over here to the workbench, sand it up, finish it, sign it, and I'll be right back. Well, there we have it. One shrub bowl in the books. I really like this piece. It was a lot of work, I'll tell you what. It was just a lot of work. But I just love this window. Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool? The whole piece is cool. There's so much to see. There's the bottom all finished up. I mean, you've got a root running right along there, and a root here, and little tiny roots over here, and all sorts of inclusions and natural voids and whatnot. This one is the definition of expect the unexpected. Thank you, Dave from Calmwood Creations, for sending this along for all to enjoy. If you like this video, thumbs up please. I'd sure appreciate it. If you're a subscriber, thank you very kindly. I truly appreciate that. If you're not a subscriber, you might consider becoming one. I put out regular videos about one a week, and I'd like to keep in touch. An easy way to subscribe is just click my picture you see there near the end of the video. Your comments are always welcome, and I read all of them. So for now, this is Phil, Shady Acres Woodshop, signing off.